Yeah, I'm not surprised at all because I kind of knew what was going on there between, the back house of Marcus, Saul, and some of the city and the stadium. So I'm not surprised by it, but I'm glad that they are starting to uncover some of the stuff. I left there because I felt there were a lot of inappropriate connections, as you call it possibly, between people that were brought in to help run private businesses by the city as managers, and then those people would end up with other contracts for other things for the city. So everyone was intertwined, and with the stadium, I feel extremely bad for Ariana. I think she's one of the strongest, very young women I've ever met that has fought it out for many years for, her business. She was brought into that business and trusted Marcus and Saul, signed a contract, didn't really review it or understand it possibly, and it really tied her hands owning the company and putting millions of dollars in it, and the city forced her to let Marcus and Saul run it. And I can't think of any city that would force a person that is bringing in investment dollars to a community that needs them to bring up the quality of life for different activities and businesses, that would force that investor to hire a person that is controlled by the city who owns other businesses that are in conjunction with the city. No, I don't understand it. I mean, when a federal judge rules on something, that's the ruling. Unless there's something else that's refiled in court to that judge or a higher judge and a higher circuit. And from what I understand, the judge did the ruling. This woman has put millions of dollars into this company, and she can't control where the money goes. Marcus can come in and decide to pay this and this and this or himself so much, and she doesn't have control of that for years, and the millions of dollars she's put in it is unheard of. So the judge finally recognized that, ruled in her favor, where he can't control any of that. And now the city comes in. I think apparently the city came in, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and went against the judge and said no. And I'm not sure how that can happen. Yeah, there's a lot of improper things going on with the city, and I think that's why the FBI was sent down there. And you can't have a city involved with an owner or an investor and force them to do things financially. I've owned many companies over the years, and when I left there, for the first year I stayed there when Marcus was running it, and so I saw the inappropriate behavior and illegal behavior they were trying to use with my TABC license. And that's why I fought against them, and that's why I left in the long run. They broke so many TABC rules, which can end up with many, many fines and legal issues and the cause of losing your license. And they didn't care about the law. They don't care about the law now, and apparently some of the city officials don't care about the law. And if you research back into the tie-ins of who owns what company that is contracted by the city, you will see Marcus and Saul own several other ones. So there are too many tie-ins, and ethically, it can't be done. And I don't see how Laredo has been getting away with it for all these years. Yes, I did. I did. I filed that with them, so they were aware of it. They were actually, when I had my license, when you're a license holder, you're registered at that address. And if I decide I'm leaving, or say they decide they want to fire me, nothing can be done with that address until you go through a lot of paperwork with TABC, and that takes months. So you have to take your TABC number off of that address. That number goes on all the bottles of alcohol you purchase. It's tied into that address. And when we parted ways, they thought, oh, we'll just kick her out and we'll bring our own stuff in. Well, legally you can't. So I, left, locked all of my TAB tag stuff up in a storage unit and locked it with a bolt and lock. And they broke the law. They let people bring alcohol on the property when it was still licensed under my name. They sold alcohol on the property when it was licensed under my name. This is illegal because if someone at that property were to drink and get drunk, get in a car accident and die, that property is traced back to my number. So they'll come back to me and sue me for that accident because it originated from my TABC address. So they did a lot of things like that, and Marcus would come down, break into my locker, get a keg of beer, and bring it to the clubhouse against my orders without me knowing. And these young clubbies, 16 years old, 17, would drink it. Just drink through it. One night, one of the young men got alcohol poisoning. He drank so much. And the ambulance came. He was taken to the hospital. A lot of things like this happened. And Marcus went against my decisions. It was my company, and against TABC rulings, about law. So things like that happened, and they have no regard for the law at all. Right now, I do have a civil suit against them, and the last hearing was in December. I think it was in December. Saul was scheduled to go in to take a deposition for my attorney in the courts, and he no-showed. He never showed up, which is contempt of court, and he had no regard for the court. You're ordered by court to do a deposition, and you don't show up. That's the kind of attitude they have. On my case right now, their attorney was dropped, so they had no attorney representation. And right now, I'm not sure if they have a new one or not. But it is still underway, and the case is very cut and dry. It's very clear as to what they did. Yeah, the civil suit or damages, for, the financial damages that they caused, as well as the liability. The liability, there's a whole list, about 10 different things. But it is a very cut and dry case that shows you pull, TABC rules, what you can and can't do, and every one of them were broke, which caused me, financial damage and, reputation. I started the facility with the previous owner, building it from the ground up. It's a beautiful, beautiful stadium. I love the people in Laredo. It meant a lot to me to be a part of that and grow with it through the first 3 years. And when this new management group came in, Marcus and Saul, it was a shakeup. It was definitely negative. Sponsors were lost. Fans wouldn't come to the stadium. Everything they did hurt the business. And that place has so much potential. And, the fans deserve a great place to go to. And it is a quality of life. It's, giving back to the community, having something fun to do. There's not a lot to do in Laredo. But with a city that has certain people on it, that won't allow that, then it's very hurtful. If the same owner was still there, that place would be thriving. It would be full of people, events all year. I mean, it would just be night and day, with Ariana there. Ariana has the right vision, and she has the strength to do it. But these two gentlemen just really ruined what was a beautiful, beautiful thing. No, I think the trial's in a couple months, but they won't show up to do their depositions. That's good, and I've had many people come in and do signed affidavits for court, in regards to everything that happened that year that I left, leading up to it. So there's a lot of documentations that have been done, but they won't come in on record to do a deposition. Just so that I think that that the citizens and community deserve more. They deserve a lot better than they're getting from the current city management. I don't think it's right for a city to come in and possibly get favors in return for allowing people to do certain things, or forcing an American citizen to hire one of their employees at an outrageous amount that they control. They set their salary, and that person is running your business into the ground. I mean, it's just unheard of to be done. And I want to, applaud Ariana and the Torres family for, fighting this battle and standing up for their rights and what should be done.